Hello friends, I wanted to make a video for you guys much earlier in the day and I wanted to be a little bit more put together, but I don't know if that's going to happen again. I think we're in crazy times right now and we'll be lucky if we get showers. So I did shower, I did that, but I just thought I would hop on because I wanted to talk to you just a couple of parenting tips. I am not an expert by any means, and I'm not trying to say I know what's best, but I do know some things that work. I've been a mom for 20 years, and for 15 years, I volunteered at my children's ministry at my church and also ran the program for a number of years. So I do have a lot of experience with kids. I know a couple of things that are really going to help smooth out your day if it needs smoothing. Okay, so I just jotted down some notes. Last night I was trying to sleep and I was just thinking about all of the moms out there who all of a sudden have to have their kids at home, which is a wonderful thing, but it's a very challenging thing when all of the different kind of things are going on. And if you have school-aged kids, you're supposed to figure out how to help them with their schoolwork. It's just gonna be a lot for anyone. So I just had this on my heart to write down a few things. So I just jotted them down. This is super informal, but the first thing I wanted to say was to really be strategic about your schedule. You can make things a lot easier on yourself and on your kids by figuring out a way of going about your day that will make the most sense. So let me give you an example. If you want your kids to do chores or do schoolwork or anything that's going to require them to sit down and kind of focus on something and be calm and collected, you will do yourself and your child a favor if you first let them have some physical exercise. So for the past couple of days, my daughter's had her two kids that she nannies. They've come over and we've just taken the kids to the park or let them jump on the trampoline for a while, and we've done it too. It's good for us too. So doing some active things at the beginning of your day is going to help the whole rest of your day. Once you have your kids really good and tired out, then that's when you sit them down at the table and you're like, okay, it's time to work on school. And then you let them work on school for a while. Then you do what they don't get to do at school, which is to take a little bit of a break every hour that they work or so and run around for a minute. This is just a little thing, but I promise you it does a lot for kids to be able to get out a lot of their energy, because we forget, we wake up and we're still tired, a lot of us, or our bodies are creaky. They get up and they're just ready. And to sit down and work on something is probably quite tragic to them. So anyway, just get them moving. If you're living someplace where it's rainy or snowy, there are a lot of things that you can do indoors that will just get out the energy. My kids and I on many occasions have watched dance tutorials on YouTube and just tried to follow them. So if you just the night before, you just screen a couple of videos to make sure that the language and the moves are appropriate for your children. And then you do that if you have to stay inside. Just anything to get them giggling and laughing and moving their bodies. You think it's gonna amp them up, but it's going to let them feel a lot better about sitting down in a little bit and working on their school. Number 2, explain the schedule and your expectations at the jump before you get started. Maybe this is at breakfast. Maybe you have your planner out and you include them in this, because kids are like us. They want to have a plan. They want to know what's coming next. And we get surprised when we just tell them, oh, well, now we're doing this and now we're doing this. And okay, it's time for this. And they're completely not ready for it. It's just a respectful thing, I think, to let them know these are the things that we're going to do. The expectation is that I'm going to make sure that you have playtime for an hour, and then we're going to sit down and work on your homework, and it's going to be fun. And then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and just kind of map out the schedule for them so that they know ahead of time that they're going to be working on school or that they're going to be doing chores later, whatever the case may be. You let them know, and they seem to be a lot better with it once it comes time to do the thing, because they already had it in the back of their mind. They're not surprised. Number 3 I wanted to tell you about is front loading your prep. So this is things like using school as an example. If you know that you're going to be working on school, maybe the night before or the morning of, just prep the tools that they're going to need for school. Another example would be to like know what you're going to make for dinner, know what the snacks are going to be, have that all planned out. If you're trying to make decisions as you go, you're going to end up overwhelmed and frazzled. But if you're prepared, and it does take a little work on the front end, but it's going to save you so much time throughout the day, and it's going to enable you to feel like you're in control and things aren't popping up and surprising you every 5 minutes. Because I don't know if I'm the only one who sometimes gets surprised that it's 6 o'clock and children are hungry and you're like, what? So front load your prep. Number 4, think about how you're going to engage with your kids. This is important for them as far as having those connections with you, but it's also important because you're a person who has other things to do in their day than play with the kids or than do housework. You have other things that you're doing. And if you try to have a day planned just the way you want it, it's not going to work. Every time I start my day and I'm really like overwhelmed with all the different things that I have to do, and I just start to plow into my to-do list, the kids end up acting up and I don't get nearly as much done because every 5 seconds they're coming to me and saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. So I have found throughout the years, and this is something that my mom taught me, before you're going to sit down to do something that you need to do, sit down with your kids. Whether it's reading or doing some arts and crafts, whatever it is that they really love to do, just sit down with them. Make a little time. It doesn't even have to be a lot, like 15 to 30 minutes. And you'll know if you're kind of like working throughout the day on different things, you'll know when they start to act antsy, okay, I need to spend a little bit more quality time with them. And just a little dose will do it. Because when you look them in their eyes and you're not carrying your stress in and you're just like enjoying them, they feel so much more connected and they feel peaceful, and then they feel like they're able to go about their day. So rather than try to just say, this is what I want to get done and I'm just going to bull through my day, don't do it. Oh, I wanted to mention too, like, I think I kind of said it, but if your kids are being cranky or they're starting to act up or be really disobedient, that's kind of a signal. It's time to stop what you're doing and go engage with them again. Just, I'm serious, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It really doesn't take a lot for them to feel like more centered just by quality time with you. Number 5 that I wrote down is try not to yell. I am not a patient person. I have been impatient my whole entire life, but I've been working on my patience level my whole entire life. As someone who did used to yell when I got frustrated or overwhelmed or people weren't listening to me and I'd start to yell, it never, ever helps. It always escalates the situation. It always causes like a rift between you and your child. And I know we all try to live by this rule anyway. We're trying to keep hold of our tempers and try to have a calm voice. I think it's good to remember this is a priority because kids want to be treated with respect just the way we want to be treated with respect. We've had so much growing and maturing, way more than they have had, and we still have times where we really lose our tempers, where we are pouting, where we are in a bad mood and stomping around. And so it's unfair for us to act as though they should never have those times. And that's usually when I would find myself yelling, when they were just having a hard time and they weren't listening to me. And I had to look, and I keep having to look beneath the surface of that. What is going on with this child that they are not listening? Because the yell isn't going to fix it. It's going to make it worse. And the worst thing is it's going to cause you and your child to kind of shift away from each other more and more. If you do lose your temper and you yell, don't feel overwhelmed with guilt and shame, because we all do it. We're all trying to work to be better, but that's a perfect time to go to them and just say that you're sorry. Mommy yelled, mommy lost her temper. See, I know what it's like to feel really upset and to get mad. And what should I do? I need to take a deep, calming breath, and you just work through it with them. Like, this is what I should have done better. This is how I'm going to try to have my emotions in check. And as they see that you're doing that and you're humble enough to admit it to them, then it becomes a dialogue. So when they're upset and they start to yell, you can say to them, you remember when mommy yelled the other day? Remember what would have been a better thing for me to do and how I decided that I needed to take deep breaths? So those are my little tips. Although I did think of a bonus one as the day was going on today. Okay, so this especially works if you have little kids, but not everything has to be a big deal. So if you have a child who is irrational and they're not doing what you want them to do, it is okay to not make a big production and to just kind of like divert them in a different direction. I'll tell you a really good example. So I was thinking about it earlier in the day, but then I saw my daughter do it really well. And so the little boy that she watches is 3, and we were on a walk and he got dirt on his shoes. And I think if you've had a 3-year-old, you know that they get upset sometimes when dirt happens. So he wanted to clean the dirt off of his shoes, but we really didn't have anything to clean the dirt from his shoes. And anyway, they were just going to get dirty again later. And instead of trying to explain and rationalize with the 3-year-old, my daughter told him, "Oh, that's fun dirt. There's sometimes when you're having so much fun, you get dirt on your shoes, and that just proves how much fun you're having. We'll wash it when we get home." And that little thing, like, it just switched his mood and he went right on and he was happy with the fun dirt on his shoes. So sometimes we get really tripped up and like, they need to respect what I say when I say it. You know what? It doesn't always have to be that deep. And I think we all appreciate it when we're in a funk and someone doesn't like try to challenge us. And instead they're just kind of like, make it a little lighter. I so appreciate that when people do that for me. I am not too proud to tell you that there are times that I pout, and I really like it when people don't make a production about it. So I think that's all I have for you today, but I just wanted to tell you that my heart is with you. I know that there are so many of you who are just really struggling in a great many ways with all that's going on, and just please be gracious with yourself and with the people around you. All you can do is your best. And every single day, at the end of the day, you get to close that chapter and start a new one in the morning. And I think just trying to have a couple of tools, like figure out what the trouble spots are and have a couple of tools to work on them. I love talking about stuff like this, and I just hope that if I can help you in any way, that you'll drop a comment below, or you can find me on Instagram at Sarah McGlory, and you can DM me there. You got this, mamas. We'll talk soon.
Shining, shining like a diamond. I see people watching. Perfect, hourglass timing. Good things come to those who wait.